Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream here. Hope you guys had a pretty good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. It looks like Bitcoin also had a pretty good weekend here. The last 3 days we actually had some green candles showing up. I did say in my live stream on Friday that I wanted to see a V-shaped recovery on the price of Bitcoin, and it looks like we might actually be getting that. So I looked at some of the comments early in this live stream and we're wondering if I'm going to be bearish, and I'm not bearish on Bitcoin as long as we're above this 200-day moving average, this red line right below us. It wasn't looking so good towards the end of last week. On Friday, we actually closed below that 200-day moving average. We were at 106,554 and we actually came as low as 103,520, 103,587 here. So that wasn't so good. And then here on Saturday, we actually closed below that 200-day moving average one more time. But it wasn't until Sunday. Sunday, we actually got above that 200-day moving average, and now we're getting some follow-through and a very nice green candle here. It looks like trade tensions are easing with China. Trump is actually walking back his 100% tariffs, and he's not going to do or say anything until they actually have the meeting with President Xi and Trump. So we're still on the fence about what could happen next, but I don't think Trump is going to do any threats here until they actually have that meeting. So this gives us a chance to actually have a recovery, as long as Trump is not going to say anything about tariffs here. Then we also have earnings season going on in the stock market, and we'll see what Bitcoin can do over the next couple of days. If Bitcoin's going to actually continue being bullish, I still think that the 100-day moving average and the 50-day moving average right above us could act as resistance. You got the 100-day moving average sitting at 112,500. We're about 1,000 points, about like 1,200 points shy of that. There might be some resistance later on today if we actually get up to that $112,500 level. We might actually slice through it and actually go right above that to the 50-day moving average sitting above us at 115,191. I would expect at least some significant resistance here, because you did have like some candle closes around this area at $115,000 Bitcoin. That is an area for us to pay attention to here. I haven't had a Fibonacci. I'm actually using Binance's chart right now because Coinbase is actually down. I don't know if you guys heard about the news with Amazon Web Services being down today, but that's affecting Coinbase and some of these exchanges here from giving us some good data. So I'm actually using this chart as data coming off of Binance. But let me go ahead and measure the Fibonacci real quick here. Oh no, I don't want to take it down to 74,000. I want to take it down to the little high that we had here. So, there were some levels to look at on Bitcoin, from this swing low to swing high here with the Fibonacci. And the levels to be paying attention to here, I think going forward, we'll see how we handle ourselves once you get up to like 114,400. That's a 0.32 retracement. And then, of course, right above that is the 0.5 retracement, 116,600. This was an area that was kind of important back here in September. So we'll see how Bitcoin handles those levels as well going forward. But yeah, as far as I could see, it looks like we're getting a little bit of relief rally and a recovery here on Bitcoin. So, we need to see more green candles like this, and we need to get away from this 200-day moving average, because the faster and more violent we can get away from this 200-day moving average, there are people that sold here thinking that, things were going to get worse for Bitcoin, okay? And if they see the price going higher than where they sold at, then that kicks in a little bit of revenge trading. And people are going to be like, damn it, I need to buy now because the price of Bitcoin is running up. So if the price of Bitcoin starts running up over the next couple of days here, I think there'll be some revenge buyers that will push us higher and faster and more violently. And then we'll probably bump up ahead against, I do have the $117,300 level marked off here. This is a level that we bumped our head up against here in September, also here in August. And we were using it as support as best as we can here in July. I think that's another level to look out for. So maybe when we get up to like anywhere between 114 to 117K, Bitcoin might take a breather. But I think, yeah, going into today and tomorrow, there might be a nice, fast, violent recovery to higher prices here for Bitcoin, and that would be great because that would constitute the V-shaped recovery that I'm looking for. That we need. We need that V-shaped recovery in order for us to continue being bullish here in Bitcoin. Because if Bitcoin did something like this, where we were going sideways and hugging that 200-day moving average, yeah, it's not below the 200-day moving average, but it's like flirting around with danger here. So I want to get away from this 200-day moving average, like it's like it's the plague, okay? Like we need to stay away from this and put a 10-foot pole or a big green candle, big green bullish candle, and stay away from it as far as we can. Because if we stay near the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at 107,884, then that gives the shorts an opportunity to build up their short positions, put their stop losses, and then any bit of bad news could send us right below that 200-day moving average. And then, yeah, if we were talking about Bitcoin coming down, if it was to come down, you know, we could see it come down to 102K or 104K as our last resort, because this is where we had some people that were buying Bitcoin around the beginning of May and June here. These are our last line of defense people here to stop us from dropping down into like 90K area. Because if we lose 102K, then we're probably going to come down to like where we have some people here that bought Bitcoin in April at like 95, 96K. And those would be the people that would provide support for us if we were to lose 102K. But yeah, you know, continue doing what you're doing right now, trading higher lows on the daily time frame here. And I think you'll be all right with Bitcoin, okay, to go to higher prices here. And this could just be one bad dream here in October, and we could do a nice violent V-shaped recovery that could send us to higher prices. And if we go to higher prices here, you know, we're looking at the 1272. We could see 130K. I still think that could be in play here in October. We got 10, 11 more days left here for October, but that if we do get a violent V-shaped recovery and we move with some conviction here, you could see 130K by Halloween. That's still in play here, okay, as far as I'm concerned. All right, I see Laureen Hali has joined the live. Thank you for joining and liking the live here, Laureen. Let me catch up on the chat here, see if I missed anything. Laureen says, looks like a bear flag right now. A bear flag on what asset? You have to clarify that for me. And let's see. MMA Esquire said great music. I think, yeah, we've already talked about that. Thank you for enjoying the music here, MMA Esquire. Laureen thinks there's a bear flag on Bitcoin. A bear flag on Bitcoin on what time frame, Laureen? Just out of curiosity, what time frame are you talking about? The daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour? What time frame are you looking at? On the daily time frame? I mean, the thing is, it's curving up now really high. Like if you were to draw a bear flag, I'm not sure how you would draw this, but you know, if you were to connect the lows here, right? And then what? Then you try to connect the lows on the uptrend here. That'd be a very violent, you know, bear flag to the upside, but I guess you could call it a bear flag. Let me go into the 1 hour time frame, see what it looks like on the 1 hour. And then I could probably just connect the highs here now. So if this is what you mean by bear flag, yeah, I mean, possibly. We're not out of the woods yet with Bitcoin, but it is nice to see Bitcoin climb up to higher prices. What I want to see now with Bitcoin, since we're on the 1 hour time frame, I want to see Bitcoin stay above this red line, this 200 moving average, okay? That 200 moving average is sitting at 110,608. The more times that we close above it, and the further we get away from that 200 moving average, it starts to take away from the bearish case that there's, you know, that Bitcoin's in a downtrend. Because if we're still making higher highs here and higher lows, then the bearish case is no longer in play, okay? But if you are going to be a bear on Bitcoin, then yeah, I mean, you know, You could short right now at 111K, put your stop loss maybe at 112,000 or 112,500 just to keep it more looser and conservative here. And you might be shorting what could possibly be a lower high here on Bitcoin. And that's why I say we're not out of the woods yet, because Bitcoin still needs to make higher highs, at least higher than what it did here in last Thursday. We saw Bitcoin as high as $112,000. I think once we see $112,000 Bitcoin, there's no longer a bearish case on Bitcoin at this moment. But we shall see. We shall see. We're just waiting for more data, more time to play out here. I think the bulls can stay bullish on Bitcoin as long as you stay above that 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. Let's take a look at the 4 hour time frame, a little higher time frame. See how that's looking. On the 4 hour time frame, you got moving averages above you at like 114, 115K here. So I would expect that if the bulls are going to push this up to higher prices, then when we get up to like the 200 moving average on the 4 hour time frame at $115,000 Bitcoin is where we might kind of chill out, take a breather before we go to higher prices again. Or maybe we chill out, take a breather, and then it's just not enough, and then we lose the momentum and we come down to lower prices here on Bitcoin one more time. But yeah, the bullish case is that the bulls are going to at least try to push for, at least the day traders, the longs are going to try to push for 115K here. Probably, you know, going into tomorrow if they can. John316 wants to take a look at Jasmy, and I am bullish on Bitcoin as long as we're above that 1 hour 200 moving average. Okay. So yeah, let's continue doing that. And then also, you know, on the daily time frame here, you know, I am bullish on Bitcoin. I am happy to see that we're getting away from the 200 moving average below us on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. But I'm now worried about making a lower high at some point. If we make a lower high at 115K and then go down to lower prices again, that would be brutal. That would be brutal. Now let me go into the weekly time frame here, because there is something that we still have to. The bears are paying attention to this on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. We are making higher highs on the weekly time frame, but like look at the oscillators, looking at the RSI here. Okay, we are making lower highs here on the RSI, and that is bearish divergence, right? If I had to connect that for you, you know, you're making lower highs here. I want to see Bitcoin actually make a violent move to the upside, break this this downtrend that it's in on the RSI, and that could happen in November or December. But we'll see like what happens in November, December time frame. I know it's the 4-year cycle people. The cycle people are saying that Bitcoin should be topping out in like the end of this year, around November, December. We shall see. Maybe things might be different this time. If things are different this time, it's because interest rates, in my opinion, are affecting the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin market, as well as the stock market as well. But interest rates weren't this high 4 years ago. Just that's what's different about this cycle. And then the cycle before that, in 2017, interest rates weren't this high either. So maybe this time is different because we're getting towards the end of the 4-year cycle, but now the Federal Reserve is lowering interest rates, so maybe we might get a continuation where we see the 4-year cycle get extended, maybe into 5-year cycle. And that would throw a lot of the cycle people off that are saying 4-year cycle, 4-year cycle. Maybe this time might be different, and it throws off the 4-year cycle people off, and we get like a 4.5-year cycle or a 5-year cycle. Who knows? Okay, because the interest rates and quantitative tightening turning into quantitative easing, maybe. But yeah, let's take a look at some of these requests here for you guys. We're gonna take a look at Jasmy for John316, and then let's see if I'm gonna try to catch up on the chat here on TikTok. I am doing a live stream here on TikTok as well as YouTube, so just bear with me on the chat here. I'm gonna try to catch up with the chat here. Let's see, Pat Tremlay says it's going down for as long as Trump is home. Okay. Looks like we have someone here that doesn't like Trump. Or doesn't like the way Trump does things here. Bond is asking me, what am I trading or buying? I'm actually in a Solana long at this moment. We can look at that later. And I'm also in gold and silver longs. Pat Tremlay says he'll buy at 88 and 83k, I believe. Patience is the name of the game. You know, it could be a possibility. I'm open up to all possibilities here. If Bitcoin creates a lower high at 115k, or even right now, then, you know, it goes down to lower lows, then maybe you might see that $88,000 Bitcoin at some point. And Lorraine says, yeah, he needs to zip it. Yeah, I agree with you. Donald Trump needs to stop talking about tariffs right now, because the market is on pins and needles right now. And any bit of bad news coming from trade war or trade tensions is going to sink the markets, which could then affect the economy too, because, you know, the wealthy, the people that have money, they'll start nibbling down. They'll start you know, spending their money because their assets in the stock market and crypto are going down. So, and that would actually affect the, you know, the restaurants and everything else that, you know, whatever the rich people are doing with their stocks and crypto. So he needs to, like, calm down with that rhetoric, in my opinion. Yeah. Pat Tremlay says, look what happened to Kronos. You sold within a few weeks of him announcing a crypto reserve. Oh, that's good for you. Abraham says, is Bitcoin going to go up to like 112? I believe it's on its way. We'll see how things go over the next few hours here. But I think we could see 112k Bitcoin later on today, and maybe 115k going into tomorrow if the markets stay bullish. Lorraine says, can you have a quick look in on Crow-I? Crow-I. Are you sure that's what you meant to say, Crow-I? I never heard of Crow-I. But I'll write that down. Let me go ahead and write these things down. So we gotta look at Jasmy. And then Crow-I. Okay. And then, yeah, let me see. Was there a request for Kronos? I don't know. God Mode says, so Bitcoin back to 120k. We'll see how Bitcoin handles itself at 115, 117k. And even 112k, because there are some resistance above us. Alright, yeah, that's what I thought, Lorraine. You want to take a look at CoAI. CoAI is becoming one of your favorite cryptos here, huh? I would advise not falling in love with any particular cryptocurrency unless it's Bitcoin, because Bitcoin does, you know, redeem itself and continue going to higher prices here. But some of these altcoins, they don't redeem themselves, and then they end up frustrating a lot of people. So I would say just don't fall in love and don't marry any of these altcoins yet. You can marry Bitcoin and stay married to Bitcoin, but you would date the altcoins and try to see how things go. And as long as the altcoins are good to you, you can stay with them. That's how I would do it. All right, so yeah, we'll take a look at Jasmy and then CoAI. And eventually I want to take a look at the price of gold and silver, because I'm actually in it, and I know gold and silver is doing pretty well. You know, this is the Meet Damien channel, not Crypto Damien, but I do like talking about crypto, and I know you guys like talking about crypto. But I do want to talk about gold and silver at some point here. Let's get into Jasmy. And this is a request for John 316 here. And John 316's, let's see, we have Jasmy currently trading at about a penny, up 4.7% today. I have done previous chart work here on Jasmy. It looks like Jasmy kind of in a descending triangle from what I charted out previously looking at this coin. And wow, look, you know, that Friday, October 10th was such a violent day. You actually broke out of the descending triangle, and you were closing below the descending triangle, came back into it. That was good to see. You're flirting around with just, you know, you're still in this descending triangle here. Okay, and the descending triangle is just a chart pattern to pay attention to. Usually they break down to the downside, okay, but there's a possibility they could break out to the upside. Usually the descending triangle breaks out to the upside when you are coming into it, you know, from below. Okay, but here's what I'm worried about with Jasmy. You came down from a downtrend, and then you started forming this descending triangle, and this could just mean Jasmy goes to lower prices, and it might break down, right? You came from a downtrend, you created a descending triangle. I would still be bearish on Jasmy, to be honest with you. Okay. And there's a few reasons. Not only did you come off out of a downtrend earlier this year, and then you came in and created a descending triangle, which is also kind of bearish as well. But you're also below the 200-day moving average, the red line above you at 14. I'm sorry, not 14. A penny and a half, roughly 0.0147 pennies. You have all the moving averages above you. So Jasmy has just been in a vicious downtrend and not really doing what it needs to do to try to create a bullish case here. Okay. Maybe I have to go into smaller time frames here. Maybe Jasmy might be doing something on the smaller time frames to give you some hope here. But just looking at it on the daily time frame, which has a lot of weight to it, it's not looking good, in my opinion, for Jasmy. Okay. This was a lot of nonsense right here. Okay, but if you disregard this candle wick, looks like on Saturday, October 11th, we came as low as 890. And then back here on April 7th, we were as low as 822. So disregarding this candle wick here, this maybe, liquidity sweep, scam wick, whatever you want to call it, you still made a higher low compared to what you did here in April. So that is the only slightly bullish case I can make here for Jasmy, is that you're still making a higher low compared to what you did here in April. So that's a start. Now let me see if there's anything good going here on the RSI here. Still making lower highs, and you also made a lower low, especially after that craziness on October 10th when Donald Trump threatened 100% tariffs. Had that not happened, then you were kind of creating, I believe, a higher low here. 29.54 and 28.57. So if you want to disregard what happened on October 10th here, you kind of still made higher lows here on the RSI. So that's your only saving grace. Like, if you can just disregard, pretend like that was just a bad day, that was a bad dream, that never happened here, you still are making higher lows on the RSI. Granted, you are making lower highs, so that's not good to see either. But there's a possibility for some hope here. But I wouldn't really hold my breath on it. I feel like there are better opportunities out there in cryptocurrency world, stock market world, even gold and silver. You don't have to stay with a crypto that's just not doing it, that's not performing well. I do like the fact that selling pressure is dying down here on the MACD on the daily time frame, so that could be the start of something good. And then looking at Jasmy on the Market Cipher B indicator, you did get a green buy dot here near the oversold horizontal bars. So that was good to see. You got that here on Saturday, October 18th, a couple of days ago. Then, if you're going to pay attention to Market Cipher B, you want to start seeing the money flow, which is right here, the red. You want to see that start curving back up, like it kind of did right here. It curved back up, and then you got a little bit of green in the beginning of October here. You want to see if that's going to start curving back up again, which lets you know that selling pressure is dying down. Money's actually going back into this asset. And then if it curves back up and you actually get a little bit of green, then you should see green on the charts as well. Because, like, look here, back here in October, the beginning of October, right? Money flow was coming in, and then you got a little bit of green that sent you back up to higher prices here on Jasmy. I don't know if I can try to, let me see if I can just bring that chart up here. I'll close this one down, and I'll close this one down as well. But you can see, just looking here, that, yeah, when money flow starts coming back in, right, and curves up, you can see that the price also starts curving up as well. That's what you're waiting for on Jasmy. You got the green buy dot saying that there's some potential here, but you're waiting for that money flow, that red, to start curving back up again. And then hopefully get some green showing up on money flow. And then you just don't know how long that's gonna last, but you just know, like, hey, you know, if you're trying to offload your Jasmy and you're seeing money flow back into the asset, maybe you might be able to offload and sell your Jasmy at higher prices than where it is right now if money flow continues going into the green, continues curving up here. All right, Chris Klein is in the chat. He says, hey, Damien, how you doing today? Hope you're having a great day. I am having a good day. I hope you're having a good day as well. And I see Mario's in the TikTok chat. He's saying Mario has liked the live, and he's asking me, can I do Fetch AI? Yeah, I can do Fetch AI. We'll probably do that right after Co-AI. Thank you for the requests. All right. Yep, we'll do Fetch AI, guys. We're going to move on to Co-AI and then Fetch AI. Okay? Those are the next two coming up. But yeah, John, just, you know, just pay attention to the market cipher B indicator, the money flow indicator. I think you might be able to sell your Jasmy at higher prices here. Then maybe, I don't know, maybe move on to something else. Not financial advice, but I don't think Jasmy is the one to do it for you. Okay? But if you decide to stick with it, then you're just hoping to get above that 200-day moving average at a penny and a half. And then it could be off to the races once you get above a penny and a half on Jasmy. All right, let's move on to Co-AI. Where I know I have it in my watch list here. And is it actively trading? Yes, it is. So we have Co-AI currently trading at $4.94, down 18% today. Down some more earlier this weekend. We saw it down like 45% on Sunday, and down 10% on Saturday, and down 34% here on Friday. So Co-AI it's topped off. It's topped off. It's done a return trip, you know, a round trip. Whoever bought here on Saturday, October 11th, Jasmy is pretty much back where you bought it at. Okay, so this is kind of like a lesson to be learned here to take profit, especially when this thing is going up like 50% in one day, 80% the next day, 15% the day after that. You know, those who are greedy are learning their lesson now as to like how crypto can do a round trip on you if you don't take profit. Okay, I was looking to get into a short myself here on Friday on Co-AI. I didn't. Also, you know, I was thinking about doing it on Saturday as well, but I didn't because it's been busy this weekend with other things, with my rental properties and my rental cars. So, and then also the weekend trading, right? It can be sloppy on the weekends. There's not that much liquidity, and yeah, I just decided I didn't want to use the mental energy because I had the mental energy on my real estate and my rental car, and I just didn't want. I actually want to enjoy my Saturday, so I didn't take the short. But I was looking to get into some longs here on Co-AI myself here on Sunday night, and then also, you know, thinking about it this morning. But I actually got burned a couple of times on Co-AI, and when that happens, you know, you just got to you know, how many times are you gonna touch the stove before you realize that it's just too hot? Okay, but let's look at Co-AI on the 1 hour chart here, because I think that's a good chart to pay attention to, and even on the 5 and 15 minute chart for the day traders out there. But Co-AI, right, looks like it bottomed out here 1 a.m. and it came down to $4.35, and that's actually where I got stopped out. I bought I think I bought Co-AI around like 5:10, and you know, then it came down to like 4:30, and I got stopped out at like I think 4:60 or something like that. So that was my last trade. But then I also tried to get into Co-AI earlier that day when it was around like $7, and I got stopped out at like 6:50 or something like that. So, you know, I got stopped out, and I realized that this thing kind of needs to do what it needs to do. It actually needs to change the trend, and it looks like it's changing the trend right now. Before, you were in a downtrend making lower lows here, okay? But now you kind of came out of that downtrend by going sideways here on the 1 hour time frame. And where could Co-AI go next? Well, if it's going to go up to higher prices, there is a 21 EMA that could act as resistance at $5.35, which is only about 35 cents away from where it is right now. And if it was to catch some bids here, I'd still take this Fibonacci that I drew from earlier. You got a 0.382 at 776. That could act as resistance if KoAI starts catching some bids. So we'll be paying attention to see if KoAI gets rejected at that 776 level. And if it doesn't get rejected, if it's able to build up to higher prices here, then I think the next level after that is going to be the 200 moving average, which is above you at $11.37. Okay? But, I mean, if KoAI does that, I mean, you're doubling in price from where you are right now. So there's a chance that KoAI could just double, just getting back up to the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. There's also a 0.5 retracement at $10.12. We thought like $10.12 was going to hold on Saturday, and it did for the most part until Sunday came around, Sunday morning, and KoAI just the sellers just came in. What ended up happening here, and I hate to do like Monday morning quarterback, but what ended up happening here is that the 200 moving average acted as resistance. We came down, then we tried to make another run for it on Sunday morning. It acted as another resistance. You know, the 200 moving average got back tested here, bearishly back tested, and then we got sent down to the netherworld here on Sunday morning for KoAI. So that's pretty much what happened here on the 1 hour time frame. Traders are using the 1 hour time frame to make their decisions here. I think you should as well. But yeah, it looks like we're flatlining right now on KoAI. Could this be another bear flag before we go to lower prices? Let's see what the RSI is looking like on KoAI. So, oh yeah, didn't want to do that. But yeah, it looks like you got completely oversold here last night, Monday morning at 1 a.m. Eastern time here. Yeah, the RSI as low as like 18. Anything below 30 is considered oversold. So you're still oversold right now on RSI. I mean on the KoAI's RSI here, and you're just waiting to see if you get above 30, make some higher highs, higher lows on the RSI, showing that buyers are stepping in to get yourself out of this, you know, this bad area that you're in for KoAI. I'll take a look at money flow. Is money flow coming back in? So this is the 1 hour time frame. You can see that we got below the oversold horizontal bars here on the market cipher B indicator. Momentum, the blue wave, came down very low below the oversold conditions here. However, you are creating some green buying dots. The last green buying dot came on Monday morning here at 2 a.m. Eastern time, and the flow, right, or at least the momentum wave is starting to curve back up, go higher. And then money flow, this red, right, was all red on Sunday and Monday, but here money flow is curving back up, and it's doing it pretty steeper, a lot steeper than what we saw with Jasmy, which was the last coin that we looked at. And you could get a MACD flip, you know, if we just kind of game plan this out here a little bit on that money flow. You could get probably a money flow flip here to the upside around 5 o'clock Eastern time later on this afternoon. You could see some green show up again like you saw here on Saturday for the money flow. So that's a little bit interesting. Might be worth taking a shot on KoAI if you want to take another shot at it. And then, you know, just keep your stop loss tight, so you're only losing about 1% of your account on your stop loss. Okay, because if you only lose 1% of your account, then you can get back in the trade again and do that 99 more times before you blow out your account. So we'll pay attention to KoAI, but yeah, I think KoAI is trying to change the trend here, trying to make a case for going to higher prices. We'll see. Let's move on to Fetch AI. We gotta take a look at Fetch now. Chris Klein's talking about Floki here. I think we'll take a look at Floki as well. I'm gonna have to write that down. Maybe we'll take a look at Floki after Fetch AI. Because I know there was some news about, I think Elon Musk tweeted about Floki and it sent the price up earlier this morning. Right now we're looking at Fetch AI, currently trading at 27 pennies. Is this thing frozen? No, it's still trading. Okay. Down 3.7% today. Hey, we know we're on the 1 hour time frame. Like, what can we do here on the 1 hour time frame for Fetch AI? It looks like Fetch AI is kind of creating like a bull flag right now. After pumping up from yesterday morning. So if this is a bull flag, but hey, I don't know. This bull flag kind of looks like you're coming down out of it. Could you get a little bit of fake out here? I don't know, maybe. But looking at the 1 hour time frame, you do have a pennant here, a bullish pennant, and a bull flag. And if this is a bull flag, then you would just take this measure move here, right? And if this thing does break out to the upside, you know, you take that measure move, the flag pull, you put it to like where you could break out the flag, maybe like at the same price here, at like 28 pennies. And it's showing that there's a bullish target to like 34 pennies here on Fetch AI. And I'll go ahead and draw a Fibonacci, see if the Fibonacci kind of agrees with that as well. And your Fib extension levels to the upside is 32 cents, is your 1272, and the 1618 at 34 pennies. So you got the 1618 kind of agreeing that we could go up to like 34 pennies. The 1618 is agreeing with the bull flagpole target here as well. So that is your bullish case here for Fetch AI. Your bearish case over the short term here on the 1 hour time frame, it looks like you might be coming down to that 50 moving average below you at 27 pennies, that green line right there. That'll put you right between the 0.236 and the 0.382. You might be able to buy some cheaper Fetch AI at this area. And if this ends up being a fake out, right? Let me just kind of move this off to the side here. But if we get down to 27 pennies, bounce up, come back into this bull flag, this bull pennant here, this could be a fake out, right? A bearish fake out. And then we can still get sent up to higher prices here for Fetch AI. So we'll pay attention to Fetch AI on the 1 hour time frame, see how it does. Also, if Fetch AI does catch some bids here to the upside, I would expect the 200 moving average to act as resistance initially at like 30 pennies, 30 and a half pennies here. And I believe that's like the same high price that you got up to yesterday morning. You came up to like 30 and a half pennies here. So I think the traders, the day traders, are going to be targeting the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame as a take profit target. But yeah, I think Fetch AI is doing all right for now on the 1 hour time frame. We'll just see how it handles itself. If it continues going down to lower prices, we're looking to see if we catch some support off of that 50-day 50 moving average on the 1 hour time frame here. Alright, so let me go ahead and read this chat here from Chris Klein. He said something about Floki. Floki is doing work today. That makes you super happy because it's your favorite coin besides Litecoin. You named your cat Floki. Wow. Okay, I guess I take it you're a fan of Floki. Joshua Reem was also in the chat as well. Good to see you, Joshua Reem. He said you want me to do TA on Poet and BBAI. Are those like some stocks? Because I know you're always requesting the stocks here. So I'll go ahead and write those down. So we'll look at Floki first, and then we'll take a look at Poet and BBAI. And then just because I want to get to it at some point, I'm going to write down, we're going to take a look at silver. And maybe gold. Silver and gold, yeah. That's a request that I'm writing down for myself. I'm requesting it for myself. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Floki here. Let's go into the daily time frame, see what Floki looked like on the daily time frame here before we go into like the 1 hour chart. Wow, okay, so Floki is up 20% today. We're just gonna call that 8,040 right now. So that's where it's trading at. And what has Floki done? So Floki was, back here in April, the lows for the year, and then May making, what it was trying to do, make a high here, higher low, higher high. We thought this was going to be a higher low here in September, and then things kind of petered out going into October, and then we have the Trump tariff, 100% tariff threat, and that really sunk us down here, okay? And here on the daily time frame, I think resistance, and it looks like it already acted as resistance, this 200-day moving average, this red line, acting as resistance at 9,030. We came up to 8,930 earlier today on Floki. Now let's go into the 1 hour time frame. So we already know, like on the longer time frames, 9,030 should be a take profit target for our longs. Let's get into the 1 hour time frame and see what's going on over here. So in the 1 hour time frame, Floki, right, caught the bids from Elon Musk tweet last night. Could you be creating a bull flag here on Floki? Looks like you're trying to bullishly consolidate here. We shall see. But yeah, it looks like this could be a bull pennant, bull flag. We'll see how it fills itself out. But I'm expecting Floki kind of like, the move has already been made. It's up 20% today. So anybody that wants to get out of Floki and get in something else, they're probably going to they're probably not going to actually stay in Floki. They're probably going to sell. Maybe after you get a green candle here, but you're getting a red candle now on Floki. This is a little bit interesting now. Is Floki going to do something like this where we come right back down to where we started from? Or maybe not all the way down to where we started from. Maybe we make a higher low off the 21 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. At 21 EMA is sitting at 7,330. Is Floki going to come down there? Right? Did we lose the momentum? Are we going to lose the momentum? Are we going to come down just as fast as we go up? I don't know. But something to take in consideration here. You would hope that this ends up being a higher low and you can stay in this bull flag, stay in this bullish pennant here. But I think if you're going to be bullish, if you're day trading Floki right now, you could take a shot here. And yeah, this thing might go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down before it breaks out to the upside here. Would I be taking a short right now? Probably not. I would try to see if Floki's going to like bounce off here, right? Come up to the top of the bull flag, the top of the bullish pennant here. Then I would take a short if I'm going to be shorting Floki. And then when you come down, you know, even when you come down back into the pennant again, to the bottom of the pennant, you're now in profit on your short because you're shorting the top of the bull pennant here. And then, you know, if we actually break down to the downside, I would take profit, you know, using this 21 EMA as a take profit target number 1 at 7,330. And then I would do take profit target 2 at the 200 moving average, this red line at 7,000. Okay, so I'd be taking profit on the short if I was trying to short Floki. And if you're trying to buy this and buy some spot bags, then I would probably wait until we come down to this 200 moving average at 7,000 to try to buy some Floki at a relatively cheaper price than what it is right now at 8,000. Yeah. That's how I would trade Floki if I was longing or shorting it. And then that's how I would spot bag, try to buy some Floki if I was interested in being it for the long term here. Alright, TikTok is kind of like giving me some trouble here again. They're saying they're restricting my visibility here. I don't know why. They're saying my live is not eligible on TikTok for recommendation and search results for the next 10 minutes because it does not comply with the For You eligibility standards here and the community guidelines. And they're not really giving me a reason besides they're probably just haters. So anyways, I just sent an appeal to TikTok. They're so annoying. They're so restrictive on TikTok, to be honest. And I gotta be careful with TikTok. because China's listening. And I don't know if China's a fan of crypto. It appears as though they're not. Laureen says, I need to say NFA. I think you heard someone say that before. Oh, not financial advice. Is that what NFA stands for? Laureen wants to look at Tesla. Laureen, you've already done a request. I do want to look at gold and silver at some point, so we'll look at Tesla after we look at gold and silver. How does that sound? Alright. Alright, we'll move on from Floki. We'll take a look at Poet. And then BBAI. And Josh Areem, did you make a request for LCA? Is that another request right there? I'm getting into Poet now. Let's take a look at Poet. Poet Technologies is a stock that trades on the NASDAQ here. This thing is currently trading at $7.66, up 9% today. Let's get into the daily time frame. I never looked at this asset before, so I want to see what it's done to get an idea like where it might go next. Oh, so this thing looks like it's in an uptrend, and it's been in an uptrend since like April of 2024. Actually, I mean, it looks like it bottomed out here in December of 2023. So this thing doing all right. I'm a little curious. What is Poet? There's a little description. If I go here on TradingView, it should tell me what it does. Poet Technologies engages in the designing, developing, manufacturing, and sale of optoelectronic solutions for the sensing, data, communications, and telecommunications market. It develops an optical interposer platform which allows the integration of electronic and photo devices into a single multi-chip module. The company was founded in November of 1985 and is headquartered in Toronto, Canada. So I take it that this company probably does electronic and optical things for, I mean, are they involved with Tesla? Because I know Tesla is trying to do the cameras for their sensors for the cars. But maybe this thing does something else with like the cameras that you see around. I don't know. I would have to look at the website, but like this cameras all over the place, like, you know, like security device cameras and stuff like that. So I really don't know what this company does, but since like the end of 2023, it's been going up and to the right, so that's good. It's in a bull trend, for the most part here. Yeah. And what I would do, just analyzing this stock for you, Josh Areem, I'm gonna do a Fibonacci here, measuring from the swing. Are we gonna call that the swing low? Yeah, we'll call this the swing low right here to the swing high. Let's say we got as high as $9.41, so I'm gonna put it right there. I'm gonna measure down to this swing low. We got as low as 468 here. So let me just see if I can get that right on the button there. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so and I'll lock that in position. And this is what I got for a Fibonacci on Poet. Looks like we already came down to the normal pullback area, that golden pocket area of $7.60. We're literally trading right above it at $7.62. Looks like you actually did come down a little bit further than the golden pocket. You came down as low on Friday, as low as $6.98. And that's kind of like right where the 0.5 retracement's at $7.04. So you got a nice healthy pullback. Looks like you're creating a higher low right now, hopefully. And then this could be a higher low that then you then see this thing go to higher highs at some point. And you would need to get above 941 to see higher highs. And you might top out, you know, if this thing does respect the Fibonacci. You got the 1272 above you at $10.70. That would probably be a good take profit target on this one. And then the second take profit target would be like 1234. That's your 1618. More likely you'll hit the 1272. Obviously you need to hit the 1272 first in order to get to the 1618. But sometimes, you know, when you're bullish here, you might create a higher high and you only go as high as the 1272 before you create a higher low, and then you maybe visit the 1618 sometime later on in the future here. But I like this for a setup here, okay? You could buy literally right now at the Golden Pocket at $7.60 here. You put your stop loss below the lows on Friday. We came as low as $6.98. So, you know, if we were to game plan this out, right? I'm going to do a long position here. So we're just going to move our stop loss below, we said $6.98. So like we'll make it, yeah, we'll make it like $6.96. How about that for a stop loss? And then, you know, we're game planning to see if this thing can get up to like $10.70 here. That's your 1272 fib extension. And you got a risk reward ratio of 4.5. Anything above 3 is considered a good trade to take. And you're only risking, let me see if you can see that. You're only risking about 8.9% on your stop loss to try and get like a 40% gain potentially on Poet Technology. That's how I would trade this thing for a long, okay? And I wouldn't really be shorting it. You know, I would wait until you get to like $9.40 again to see if it tops out over there before going into a short here. But if you were to short this thing, then yeah, you probably take this down probably to the 0.236 level at 579, which is right where that 50-day moving average is sitting at, around like 565, 579. That's where I would, you know, try to take a short, or at least take profit on the short if I was going to short this stock here. Adam Yasuda says, why trade individual names? We trade individual names to try to make profit. We try to make daily profit using leverage trades, if you're able to do leverage trading. Some people trade individual names as a swing trading strategy, where they buy what they perceive to be a low price on a stock and then hold it for a few weeks or a few months and then sell at a higher price, and they make profit in those few weeks and few months that they bought low and sold high. So that's the strategy as to why some people would trade individual names there. Yep. Tariq is in the chat on TikTok here. He says, hi bud, are you moving up through resistance? Resistance on what? You have to give me an asset that you're talking about here. And then Lorraine Holly, we're looking at a stock right now that Josh Shareen requested, and it's called Poet Technologies. And it looks like a pretty good stock to get into, in my opinion here. It's pretty bullish. I would be leaning bullish here because you're above the 200-day, you're also above the 50-day moving average, and you're also even above the 21 EMA as well. And things are looking like they're going up to the upside here. The next earnings report for Poet Technology, which could, you know, send this thing higher or lower significantly, would be November 12th. You have an earnings report coming out for Poet Technologies. And this is what they're expecting on their earnings. They're actually expecting to lose money, and their revenue is expected to come in at $400,000. So this is a very small company. The market cap is only $694 million. So, you know, it's like trading an altcoin. But this is like an altcoin that makes money. Or actually, no, it doesn't. It actually loses money. But this is an altcoin that generates revenue. For my crypto guys who are trying to understand the stock market better. This is a small stock. We would consider this like an altcoin in cryptocurrency world. But this thing looks like it has some potential, in my opinion. Alright, let's move on to a BBAI, and then we'll take a look at silver and gold. Alright, BBAI, Big Bear AI. Okay, so this is like a technology company in the AI space. So this is another request from Josh Shareen. He loves his stocks, and I like stocks too. I like talking about stocks whenever I can. And looks like Big Bear AI is currently trading at $7.65, up 3% today. We're looking at the daily chart here for Big Bear. Just to get a description, because I'm relatively new to it. Big Bear engages in data-driven decision dominance and advanced analytics that provide its customer with a competitive advantage in a world driven by data that is growing in terms of volume. Sounds like a marketing play here, right? Anyways, this is like a description of what it does here. You can find it on TradingView. Looks like the company was founded in 2020, so it's like a relatively brand new company. They've been around for like 5 years. But it looks like they do stuff here with data analytics, and they're involved in AI and defense and intelligence and commercial markets. So could this possibly be like a similar to like a Palantir? We know Palantir has been doing pretty well over the years. Could Big Bear AI be a competitor to Palantir? I don't know, but I do like the way the chart looks here on Big Bear. You're above the 200-day and the 50-day, and looks like you're trying to use the 21 exponential moving average, that white line. You're trying to use that as support. Looks like it came as low as $7.49 earlier today, and on Friday it came as low as $7.10. But you are still, if this is going to be a higher low, then you're doing quite alright on Big Bear, in my opinion here. And now I'm wondering, is this thing going to create like an ascending channel? Let me see if I can find it. Where's my ascending channel? I got to use this. So, are we going to do something like this here with Big Bear, right? Where we just do a rising channel to the upside here. And you could be buying the bottom of this channel, and you could ride this thing up to the heart line at like $8.80. So like maybe it goes up like another $1 from where it is right now. And then you got a high here. Like, could we get back up to the highs here that we saw last Tuesday at like $9.39? And maybe ride this thing higher than that and create a higher high. So like, could Big Bear AI do something like this, where we come up here, we kind of go sideways a little bit, and then we go up higher, get to the top of this channel, make a higher high, and then get sold off, make a higher low over here maybe, and then come back up to higher highs one more time? I don't know. Something to play around with, on TradingView is this rising channel that could possibly come into play here for Big Bear. So that's something to look out here. If you ask me about this in the future, we'll just lock this in. We'll see if this thing stays in the channel or not. But let me go ahead and quickly do a Fibonacci, and we'll try to figure out where this thing can go next here. Measuring from the swing high to the swing low down here. We'll just use that as the swing low down here. Where we got as low as 465 on September 10th. And we came as high as 939 on October 14th. Okay. So I got my Fibonacci to work with here. Looks like you're already at the golden pocket. So you got your golden pocket, normal pullback here on Big Bear. And did we actually hit the 0.5 at 701? We came close to it, 710. Maybe got a little bit front ran there, a little bit. Buyers came in. That was good to see. So I'm expecting that if Big Bear is to continue going up to higher prices, we'll see how it handles itself at that $8.37 level, that 786 retracement. That's a level to be looking for if you're a Fibonacci guy. And then we'll see if we can climb up higher than that. I think 837. It's a little bit below the heart line. Not saying that there's any reason why we have to get rejected off the heart line here on the channel here, but someone that's using parallel channels here, they might decide to sell at the heart line at 864, 870 around here. So I'm expecting in the near term some resistance between 830 and 860, 870 for Big Bear. And then once you get past that resistance, then we'll see how we handle ourselves at 939, and then we'll see if this thing is going to continue going up to higher prices at the 1272 at $10.68. And we'll just take it one level at a time. But yeah, you should ask me about this stock. We'll take a look at it again on a future live stream, see how things are playing out here on Big Bear. But I think, yeah, Big Bear, you just put your stop loss below Friday's low, and you're not really risking too much, right? Let's see what what you'd be risking here. Just put it down to the lows on Friday. About a 7% stop loss on your trade here for Big Bear. If you're going to be long in it and putting a stop loss on Friday's lows, I think you'll be all right with a 7% stop loss. That's respectable, especially if you're doing like a single stock trade. Could be worse. Could be a 10% stop loss, but I think you're all right. And then we'll see if how things play out. Let's see. All right. So LCA was a request, and then you want to look at Palantir. Okay. Well, that's gonna come after Tesla now, because we gotta look at that for Lorene here. But we'll look at LCA and then Palantir later on in the stream. Chris Klein says he has to get going for the day. He hopes that I have a great day, and much love to you as well, Chris. Thank you. And don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't on the way out. Let's see if we can get the likes to match the amount of people in the live stream. Actually, we have more likes than we have on the YouTube stream here. So thank you guys for hitting that like button. Appreciate that. For my TikTok guys, we're at like 6,800 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 8,000 likes here. I know we could definitely do 7,000. All you guys gotta do is just double tap that screen, and we'll get like 7,000 likes probably in the next 2 minutes here. But let's see if we can get up to 8,000 likes here. Alright, moving on from BBAI, which is very interesting. I want you to request that again from me. We'll take a look at silver and gold, because I'm actually in a couple of longs here on silver and gold, or at least definitely silver for sure. Looking at the daily time frame here for silver. Silver's currently trading at $52.30. Silver is still maintaining this uptrend line, okay? And we've seen silver get as high as $54.46 on Friday. So I am just in a long on silver. I'm trying to play from where we are right now, just getting back up to $54, and I'll be happy taking profit and calling it a day, and just seeing what silver decides to do next after that. But yeah, I decided to get into a long because, you know, as long as we maintain this uptrend, we're still in an uptrend, and the trend is your friend until the end, until it's not your friend anymore. Okay, but if we were to break this this uptrend here on silver, right, we would have to probably go lower than the lows that we did today, like $51 or even $50. But if we get down to like $51, $50, and we actually have a candle close below this uptrend, then I would start to worry that silver might come down to lower prices. And if it does, I mean, it looks like silver could come down to this $48.89 level, which is right kind of confluent with that 21 EMA at $48.50. I think silver would probably get some support around $48. I think there's still a lot of enthusiasm and excitement where people will be like, oh yes, I can buy silver below 50 an ounce, because they're hoping for higher prices on silver. And if silver does go to higher prices, we do have a 1272 above us at $61, saying that is a possibility that you could see silver at $61.57. And then there's also a 1618 Fibonacci above you, where we could see $70.59 for an ounce of silver here. Okay. And if you want to know when that's going to happen, you know, if I extend this out a little bit further, if we I doubt this is going to happen. Okay, but if we were to continue doing this uptrend, you know, going forward here on silver, we could see $70 an ounce silver at the very minimum for a target date around like right before Christmas, like the week before Christmas, December 18th. And then if we continue maintaining this uptrend on silver, and you know, we don't go below and we don't go too crazy, you know, losing this uptrend here, then, you know, X marks the spot right over here. We could see a $61 silver Wednesday, November 19th. And the same thing goes for gold, because gold is doing the same thing on the chart. It's in an uptrend. I think I drew this uptrend. Yeah. So I've done a TikTok video and a YouTube short about, you know, when could gold hit $5,000. And, you know, I think gold, it is possible for it to hit $5,000. You have a 1618 at 5,049. And I think it was like right over here in like January. We could see, you know, right over here, like $5,000 gold. We could see that in the middle of January of 2026. If we were to maintain this uptrend here on gold. Alright. Let's see what the oscillator is looking like for gold. You are clearly overbought here on gold on the daily time frame, but you've been overbought since like the beginning of September. So like, you know, we went through a whole month of being overbought, and then looks like we're doing the majority of October being overbought on the RSI here. So it's the likelihood is that it's just going to continue being overbought. And then on top of that, like looking at the RSI here on gold, like you got as high as like 86.83 on October 8th, 87.11 on October 16th. So you're still making higher highs, which justifies you going to higher prices here on gold. Even though you're clearly overbought, you can stay overbought and you can still stay in the uptrend. And then you're also making higher lows here on the RSI as well. So the trend is like, I mean, this is what it's looking like on the RSI, right? You're making higher lows here. And you're kind of still making higher highs. It looks like there's going to be crescendo here. There's going to be hopefully some resolution here. Maybe things kind of calm down towards the middle of November on gold. Like maybe the RSI will actually dip down and come down to 70, but still, like that's still overbought. Even if it does go down to 70, you would have to lose 70 or get down to like 69, 68 on the daily time frame here on gold for you to probably see a significant price drop, and also to see the RSI not be overbought anymore. But yeah, this is unprecedented times to be in gold and silver, in my opinion here. And I don't want to come up with downside targets, but you know, we did have a 786 below us at 41.59, and then we have a 618 at 3,980. But I think if we do go down to gold at below $4,000, I think that's going to be like a trigger for some people. Like they can buy gold below $4,000 and maybe sell it at like $5,000 or $6,000 next year. Who knows? So I think $4,000 is going to be a strong support zone for gold. If it goes below 4,000, expect it not to stay there for too long. All right, and then my opinion about gold is, you know, if you know, in order for gold to go down in price, we need to get like the shutdown to end here in the United States, the United States government. If they can resume operations, that would take some of the fear out of the market, and maybe see some of that money go into like maybe Bitcoin or go into like stock market world. And then also, if the Federal Reserve lowers interest rates, that would be more beneficial to the stock market and stocks that earn dividends. And stocks that earn dividends are a lot better than gold that doesn't earn dividends. And I think people would start selling some of their gold to get into the stock market again, if that's the case, if they do lower interest rates. Oh, Josh Areem, you were saying that BBAI could be the next Palantir. Interesting. If it does, then it has a lot of upside, in my opinion, if that's the case. All right. Moving on from gold and silver, we'll take a look at Tesla. Now 786 says, what about sell options? You mean like a put option? You could do a put option on some of these stocks if you're bearish on any of these stocks and you want to make some money. Day trading a particular stock, you could do put options, yeah. Put options is another great way to make money on a stock going down if you don't want to actually sell your stock, or because you could get hit with taxes when you sell your stocks. You could do a put option instead and make some money on your puts, and then when you do, you made money even though the stock went down and it hurts your long-term position. At least you made some short-term money with your options. All right, so now we're looking at Tesla, currently trading at $442.87, up slightly today. Let me get rid of the oscillators for now. Tesla kind of looks like it's in just bullishly consolidating above like 410 bucks here. You have like kind of like a gap here from like Friday, September 12th, going into like Monday, September 15th. Usually gaps do like to get filled. So I would expect, if Tesla was to, go to the downside here, you could come and revisit the highs from Friday, September 12th, when we were as high as like 396. So maybe you could put your buy orders in at 396, which is confluent with the Fibonacci right here at 400 bucks. 0.618 is where the golden pocket is at. The 0.618 at $400, and then also the 0.65 at $402. So you might be lucky enough to get some cheap Tesla at $400. I would put a buy order in there. That's like a 10% drop from where we are right now. You might get lucky enough to get filled at that area. But if it's going to be a more shallow pullback, you might come down to the 76 at 414 bucks. Looks like people already got filled around that area here on October 13th and October 14th. But maybe Tesla might revisit the 414 area one more time before it goes up to higher prices. And if it does go to higher prices, we are looking at a 1272 at 454, and then a 1618 at 483. And then also we got the high here back here on October 2nd at 470. So I think if you're trading Tesla, trying to figure out where to sell it in the near future here, anywhere between 450 and 480 is your target zone to be selling your Tesla stock. Lorraine Haley asking me, do I think it's going to go down first? Earnings report tomorrow. So there's an earnings report on Tesla. Is that what you're saying? Let me see. Let me take a look at this letter E here. Yeah, it looks like there is a earnings report October 22nd, Wednesday, is what it's showing here for Tesla. They're expecting earnings of like 54 cents a share, and with revenue of $26.3 billion. If it's a beat, then you expect the stock to go up. If it's a miss, you would expect it to go down, obviously. I don't really like trading earnings reports, because it's like, 50-50. It could be good or bad, right? But, if you want to trade it, and you're buying it today at 443, I put the stop loss. Well, how much you're willing to lose on your stop loss if it ends up being wrong. Maybe put the stop loss below the lows on Friday at 423. So it's like a 5% stop loss. Let me just measure that out real quick. From where we are right now to the lows on Friday, that's about like a 5% stop loss. And if you're bullish on Tesla, if it's a good earnings report, then yeah, you could see 450. Well, 450 is not too far from where we are right now, but you could see the 1618 get hit at 483. So you're risking about 4 or 5% on your stop loss to try and get that 9% gain here. I think that's like a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio if I just do the long position here. Yeah, so 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio is not really that much reward. Any risk-reward ratio below 3 is not really a good trade. But I do know some people do take those trades anyways. Just know it's not the most lucrative trade. you're taking on more risk for the amount of reward that you could get. So, I don't know. Not the best trade to be getting into on Tesla, but if you're already in Tesla, then you know, this is what you have here. You could plan on losing only 4% if you're wrong, and you could still try to get 9% more on your long-term position on Tesla. Josh Areen wants to take a look at LCA. We'll take a look at LCA. LCA is coming up right after Tesla. Got you, bro. All right, let's take a look at LCA. LCA, is that a cryptocurrency? Just for clarification here. It doesn't look like a cryptocurrency. Oh, Lithium Americas. I think that's LAC. Yeah, you're asking for LAC. Lithium Americas. Gotcha. Yeah, it's a typo. It's okay. Let's see. Alright, so we're looking at Lithium Americas Corporation. It's involved in mining metals here, which we all need, you know, especially with the rare earth problems that we're having here with the United States supply chain and China being disrupted by China restricting rare earth metals. This company could be worth getting into. We'll look at the daily chart for Lithium Americas, currently trading at $6.93. Yeah, a pretty significant pullback here since last Wednesday. We topped out at $10.50 here for Lithium Americas. Got as low as $6.64 on Friday. And yeah, all right. And where can we go next here? So we already came down to the 21 EMA. Okay, 21 exponential moving average is sitting at $7.12. We're slightly below that right now, but you can see that we are trying to hold it as support for now. This level that we're at is also confluent with the 0.5 retracement, so we've already came down to the 0.5 retracement. We're trying to hold that 0.5 retracement for now. If we're going to still be bullish, then you're going to see how we handle ourselves at the golden pocket at $7.79 and $8 here for lithium, for LAC here, and then you might get some more resistance at that 76 level at $9.11 here. So those are your upside targets to be looking for trading Lithium Americas here. And then downside targets, if we lose the 0.5 retracement and we lose the 21 EMA here, it could come down to this 0.236 at 477. There's not really any movement averages below you to give you support here either. The 50-day movement average is sitting at 373, but we'll see, how we handle ourselves at this 0.236 retracement at 477. That's like right below this gap here. We have the gap here on September 24th, where we had some good news about the Trump administration and the government trying to support Lithium Americas with like I think a really good loan or something to get more involved with this metal mining company here. But yeah, you could come down and fill this gap at some point if you're not going to stay bullish here, if you're not going to get supported at the 21 EMA and the 0.5 retracement. So I'd be careful with Lithium Americas. This is kind of almost trading like one of those altcoins in cryptocurrency world. This thing could drop down to like $4.70. You could lose another $2 here on Lithium Americas, and maybe even more than that if you come down to the 50-day. You could possibly lose like $3. This thing could get cut in half as a worst case scenario. But I probably put the stop loss Right now, I put the stop loss below the lows on Friday. Okay, at like 664. But I think now is the time to try to accumulate and see if you can get at lower prices, below $6 and below $5 here. I would call this like a buy zone area right here. But even if I was getting filled at like $5, $6 here, I would still put the stop loss right below this 0.236 at like $4.60. Because you still could come down all the way down to like $3.70 here. Be very careful with LAC. All right, and then yeah, I already talked about upside. Upside targets is like $8 and then $9, and then yeah, can you revisit the highs here on October 15th at 1050? Was that the high? Yeah, I probably got to readjust this. All right, let me readjust this a little bit. The numbers might change a little bit, but you got to. These are the levels to look for here on the Fibonacci. Josh Areem, gotta go. Catch you tomorrow. Yep, I will catch you tomorrow. Thank you for coming into the live stream and giving me these requests about these stocks that you like. Thank you. All right. I'm kind of getting hungry for lunch, guys. How much? You guys have any more requests here? I might make some lunch and then go hit the gym. Maureen's in the chat, smashing that like button. Is CC in the chat? She's kind of. I think I see CC as one of the other people that's in the TikTok chat here. Yep, oh, there's CC. I see you. Yep, I see you. Chris Cook wants to look at Near Protocol. Okay. And let me see. Did I miss any other requests here? Alright, yep, we'll take a look at Near Protocol. Thank you, Chris, for the requests. Hopefully you're still in there. Alright, so we're looking at Near Protocol. It's cryptocurrency, currently trading at $2.26. Up slightly today, just a little bit, 0.1%. Nothing to brag about or write home to mom about. So Near Protocol, just looking at it, you know, looking from the outside in, zooming out here. You're below the 200-day moving average, so you already know how I feel about being below 200-day moving average. I have to be bearishly biased. This thing has a lot of proving to do before I can become bullish on it. Yeah, you got to get above that 254 level here for me to be bullish here on Near Protocol. But I'll try to make a bullish case as best as I can. Looks like the lows came here in June at $1.79. I think that's the lowest point that you've had here. If you disregard this candle wick, you know, scam wick here, you know, this liquidity grab, whatever you want to call it. It looks like the lows actually came, the high, you still have made a higher low here on October 17th. You came as low as $2.05, which is higher than the low here in June 22nd. So that's the only bullish thing that I can get off this chart as of now. Let's look at the oscillators. Are we doing all right on the oscillators here? Let's see. You got a low here on the RSI at 33.36, 34.30, 35. So you are almost, I believe you're making a little bit of a bullish divergence case here. You got lower lows here on the price on the daily time frame, but you got higher lows here on the RSI. You have the beginnings of what could be possibly bullish divergence here, which could be the beginning of possibly bottoming out here on Near Protocol. Now let's take a look at the market cipher B real quick. You got a green buy dot that came in yesterday. Looks like the momentum wave is starting to curve up, so that's good to see. What I want to see next to continue being bullish on Near Protocol is I want to see money flow start curving up on the daily time frame. I want to see this red, you know, which was steadily increasing. I want to start seeing it decreasing and going into green at some point, maybe later on this month. And if it does that, then you should see higher prices for Near Protocol. But if we do get to higher prices here, it's gonna be tough because you got some resistance above you. You got the 200-day moving average at 254, 100-day at 256, and then 50-day is above that at 267. These are gonna be your take profit targets if you're day trading or swing trading this thing. And then you have to see how it handles itself, because if we get up to that level, right? Let me see. If we get up to that level, I would expect a rejection at the 200-day moving average. Or if we go past that, a rejection at the 50-day moving average, come back down. Maybe use the 200-day moving average as support. Kind of chop sideways before you get launched up to higher prices here on Near Protocol. But, you know, you could also get rejected off the 200-day and come right back down to where you are all over again at 225. So, a lot of proving to do here on Near Protocol. That's why I'm bearish on it. You know, I'm bearish until you can get above the 200-day moving average and actually stay above it. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll finish off by looking at Bitcoin, see how Bitcoin's doing. And then that's going to be it for this live stream, guys. And then you just have to catch me tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Ooh, Bitcoin, what are you doing? Coming down. Oh no, Bitcoin. Why? Why, Bitcoin? Why? Bitcoin currently trading at 109,980, lower than when I first started this live stream. Let's see what it's done on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, Bitcoin is just dropping down. On the 15-minute time frame, it's coming down to the 50 moving average. Maybe it might get a reaction over here, or maybe it doesn't, and we come right down to the I think we could at least come down to the 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame. This is sitting at 108,600. Oof, that'd be hard for the that'd be brutal for the longs here. I mean, I wasn't a long on Solana. I did add to my position earlier this morning. I'm a little bit curious to see how Solana's doing, to be honest. Let's go into Coinbase here right now. Yeah, so my Solana long is down right now. Same thing with my silver too. I don't know, but Solana right now I'm losing about $27 on that. That's unfortunate. But I think the thing that I was looking for is on the 1 hour time frame. Could Bitcoin hold above the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame? And this is just no bueno, guys. So we came up, we got above the 200 moving average. We're using it as support. Try to get above. We got as high as 111,700, 714, and then 111,690. So we were making still higher highs here. And I don't know, did a bit of news come out? Did Donald Trump just threaten tariffs again with China or something here? Because like we're getting a nasty red candle and losing this 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. I wanted us to stay above here, and this is not good. I might have to close out my longs here on Solana, or you know, or wait until I get stopped out, because like this is no bueno. You could come down to this 100 moving average and maybe get support there, or you could come down to the 50 at 108 grand. All right, so if this is the beginning of something worse, you could see Bitcoin come down to $108,000 is what the charts are showing, because both on the 1 hour time frame and then also on the 15-minute time frame, you got moving averages below you near $108,000. So looks like that's what's happening here for Bitcoin. How's the stock market doing? Is the stock market dropping as well? Just want to take a look at the S&P 500. real quick here. No. Yeah, so people in the stock market are doing alright. It's just cryptocurrency just being garbage right now. Bitcoin's being garbage, while people are making money in the stock market and gold and silver. So I don't know what to tell you. Bitcoin just being garbage. Maybe it's China's attacking us and selling off their Bitcoin. I don't know. I heard that as a rumor as well. But anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for this live stream here, guys. I will try to go live again 12 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys on the live stream for tomorrow's live stream. And then I see Vince. Vince says, "What do you do?" I don't know what kind of question that is, Vince. I do day trading here, and swing trading and long-term trading on both stocks and crypto. And I'm talking about it here on my YouTube channel and TikTok. Yep. Hey, maybe that's why TikTok restricted my live stream, because they don't like it when I talk about YouTube. Oh, Crypto Jedi came into the chat. Lorraine says, "Told you, bear flag." And yeah, that's funny. Yeah, CoAI might actually go up because the market's going down in crypto. How is CoAI doing? Just out of curiosity. Where did I put this thing? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it looks like CoAI. Last time we looked at CoAI, it was at $5 or $4.99, and it is catching some bids here. And then Crypto Jedi says, "More fair value gap to fill to the upside or to the downside?" There, Crypto Jedi. Are we talking about Bitcoin fair value gap? I gotta go look at Bitcoin again one more time. Yeah, there might be a fair value gap to get filled here on Bitcoin. It might come down to that 100-day or the 50-day here. That's unfortunate. But yeah, guys, I am going to see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to end the live stream now. Yeah. There might be some more buying opportunities later on this afternoon if Bitcoin decides to come down to like 109 or 108K. All right? Till then, I will see you guys tomorrow. 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time is when I normally go live. See you tomorrow, guys.